Okay, good morning, committee members and other parties of interest. This oral presentation for RPS 25-00379, Architectural/Engineering Services for the CDBG-DR Single Family Housing Repair and Replacement Program is being held in part by means of communications media technology. Active participation will be for committee members and presenting firms only. A recording of the meeting will be made available to the public and all other interested parties. Please be advised that the cone of silence is still in effect. All meetings and correspondence must include me. My name is Ethan Kersey, and I'm the buyer for this project. Again, for the record, this meeting is being recorded and will be posted online at a future date. At this time, I'll ask each committee member to introduce themselves for the record, beginning with the committee chair.
Hi, my name is Cheryl Howell. I'm Assistant County Administrator, Committee Chair.
Good morning, Brenda Vallecilla, Managing Director of Affordable Housing Services.
I'm Rob Parkinson with the County Management and Budget Department.
John Mueller, Director of Facilities and Real Estate County.
Kim Rogers, Engineer with Water Resources Department.
Tara Williams, Architectural Services Manager, Capital Programs. Nicole Delbert, Compliance and Monitoring Manager at Affordable Housing.
Thank you. Presenters, if you would, please introduce yourself for the record the first time you speak today as well. Our presenters will have a total of 30 minutes, 15 minutes for presentation and 15 minutes for Q&A. The committee is advised that they may ask clarifying questions regarding any information provided in the firm's written proposal or that the firm brings up during today's oral presentation and interview. I'll be timing your presentation and will signal to you when there are 2 minutes remaining. Immediately following the presentation, we will move on to the question and answer portion, where I will also track your time and provide a 2-minute warning. I will start your time once you begin speaking, and with that forefront architecture, I will turn it over to you to begin your presentation.
All right. Thank you so much, Ethan. Appreciate that. And thank you to the committee for allowing us to come back and speak a little bit more about our qualifications and how we can support Hillsborough County on this program. So just a quick interview of the team. My name's Justin Parker. I help lead the business development for Forefront. Today, available to you during the Q&A and who will be speaking at this interview, we have Leonard Davis, who is our principal in charge for this program. He is going to be our executive level oversight just to make sure that the team is hitting the necessary program requirements. Nunzi Burzo is on the interview team today. He is going to be our project director, and he does sit in the Fort Myers office with our project manager, Bill Spencer. And these two individuals are going to be supported by Kine and Mike, who are going to assist with QC, code compliance, CDBG compliance throughout the program. So the first section of our interview today, we want to kind of refresh some of the qualifications of Forefront. We know you did review our proposal. We did then take notes of what the committee's feedback was during that proposal stage, and we hope to clarify some of the questions that you did ask for Forefront to come with today. I really want to go back to Hurricane Andrew. So 1992, Hurricane Andrew comes in, is really when Forefront began their residential experience. With over 30 years in the state of Florida, that's when Forefront was rooted as a residential firm. It's only in the past maybe 5 years that Forefront has started branching out, providing work for commercial and municipal entities in the state. Our initial founding was a residential firm to support custom home, national home builders, single family home, multifamily throughout the state. Once Hurricane Andrew came through, some of our early leadership actually went throughout the state working with building code professionals, building departments to understand a little bit better how we could build for future disaster in the state, understanding foundations, walls, wind loads. That engineering was really important to help educate all throughout Florida on what we could do for the next one. I also want to talk a little bit more on some of the grant-funded projects that Forefront has worked on. We did include a couple projects in our proposal, but we wanted to really hit that. We have done several CDBG projects, primarily the CDBG-DR project that we did work on for Lee Cares in Lee County. Additionally, we have CDBG CV projects, which are CDBG coronavirus allocated funds for improvements to facilities throughout the state. FEMA with Pine Island. Nunzi actually worked with Bill on Pine Island's facilities to basically redevelop the facilities there at the marina. And we have several other grant funded programs currently in the firm as well. And I will hand it over to Kine to speak a little bit more of our qualifications today.
Thank you, Justin. Hi, everyone. My name is Kai. I'll be talking a little bit. Can you hear me better?
I'm gonna turn the volume up just a little bit here.
Okay. I'll be adding a little bit more about our firm qualifications. Forefront has nearly 30 years of experience in residential and commercial design. We're currently working with over 16 different agencies throughout Florida, and we have over 60 office staff available to support the project. Next slide, please. And here's our availability for the project to support. We have more than 50 plus team members to support the drafting of the project, 10 plus project managers, 8 various professional licensed designers under one team. Next slide, please. And here I would like to highlight our program director, Nunzi Berzo. He has over 30 years of Florida residential construction experience. He's a project director for Lee Cares program through partnership with JWTC. He's a project director for Elevate Florida in Everglades City with ACE Construction. With that, I would like to pass it on to Nunzi.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nunzi Berzo, and I'd like to go through our residential experience. So our firm provides the architectural services and engineering service for high volume builders. Why it is important to understand that is that out of these top 25 national home builders, the volume of their plan orders is important with our drafting staff. The size of our drafting staff is more than capable of handling all these the needs for the national home builders as well as custom home builders and our other clients. We understand that this is important for them to deliver their business plans through the years. Next slide, please. So working again to elevate homes, we partnered with Iridium Development out of St. Petersburg, where we've designed over 25 homes for him and his clients. Total construction cost $7.5 million. What we did is the homes that got impacted by Ian and Milton, all the old homes in St. Petersburg were down low at the old floodplain levels. So basically taking the existing structure and using that lower level just as a garage and putting the new house structure on top of the existing block homes and creating new residences for all these clients in St. Pete in the velocity zones and flood zones. Next slide, please. Next slide. Again, elevating homes in Florida, Hurricane Ian, Fort Myers Beach. We partnered with Rock Solid Construction. We are using deep foundations, piling foundations to elevate these homes that were completely destroyed during the storm. Concrete block columns, concrete beams, concrete slabs, precast concrete walls and roofs for the flood zone, velocity zones to comply with the building code. Next slide, please. Section 3 is our CDBG-DR experience. Slide, please. So the overview of the experience where Forefront fits in the process is providing the A&E services to enable the county to meet the CDBG requirements, code-compliant architecture and engineering design, approval of scopes, and compliant, cost-effective, and constructible homes. And that pre-construction phase is where we come in is pretty critical. Next slide, please. So again, partnering with this is the CDBG DR plan program with Horn and JWTC, which was $43 million allocated to the single family homes design compliance review for rehab. JWTC came to us with approved plans for the program that all had to be re-engineered and designed for the specificities with the flood zones and the lot sizes here in Fort Myers in Lee County. And we've partnered with them, and it's an ongoing program, and we're continuing to work with them currently as well. Next slide. I'd like to reintroduce Kine, please.
Oop, Kine, you're muted real quick.
Sorry. Yes, this slide, I would like to mention some of our current CDBG projects we're working on. The first one is the City of Hawthorne, which is a new construction community resource center project, which is about 4.5 million grant fund. And it's currently at bidding phase and ready to select contractor to continue to construction phase. And the next one is the City of Vernon Community Center renovation project, which is about close to $1 million grant fund, and which is currently in design completion phase. And the next one is the City of Paxton Senior Center, which is also a new construction senior center project. And about 2.7 grant fund for this project, and we're currently in construction phase at this time. So with the CDBG project, we always ensure that the client's programs, proposed design, timeline, budgets, and grant amount are always in line for the success of the project. With that, I would like to pass it on to Mike.
Good morning. My name is Mike Vitale. Next slide, please. As far as cost and schedule, we have a quality task force here at Forefront that helps us establish and define your scope of work for your particular these particular homes. Each home is going to be at a different stage. This includes, homes that potentially could be occupied. We've done numerous residential repairs, alterations, and additions throughout the state of Florida, along with tens of thousands of new construction. Next slide, please. So the office I head up, I've got 15 years experience as a Florida Building Code Administrator, 20 years experience as a plans examiner and building inspector. And also in this division, I have another inspector who's also licensed as a building inspector and plans examiner. He is a Florida licensed general contractor as well. He's local and he's able to conduct site visits to determine and help us determine level of alteration and level of repairs that are going on within each individual home, whether the home be occupied or not. The quality task force that does our quality control and QC documents are compiled of graduate architects with job site experience, and they are extremely critical of information that's presented to them and ask questions of conformity, compliance, and coordination, and ensure that those items are met. I'd like to turn it over to Justin.
Thanks, Mike. So our team definitely brings quite a few benefits to Hillsborough County, specifically being local in Fort Myers, throughout the state of Florida, and being in Florida for over 30 years. Our team and leadership here has learned a lot about residential construction and how we can support the program. We also bring the CDBG experience. We have CDBG disaster recovery experience through our Lee Cares program. We have CDBG experience through the coronavirus allocated funds for improvements to municipal facilities. And this allows us to understand that compliance portion of the program. Yes, you need a firm that's able to come in and execute drafting and drawings and get permits for people to get back into their homes or new homes. But a key part of this program is understanding the transparency with the CDBG requirements. And we have team members who have been through that process and supporting colleagues in the industry who is able to assist us if there's any issues that we can solve We have a deep bench here at Forefront. Who you're seeing here today is really some of our executive level team members who lead teams here within Forefront. We have a deep bench of CAD professionals who are familiar with Florida construction methods, code compliance, and that quality task force to make sure that we have clean drawings that are able to be constructed at the end of the day for the owners. And project success. This team is committed to partnering with Hillsborough County. This is a 6-year program. You're going to need a firm who is going to be here from day one, and you don't see people being switched out after the first year. You're going to want the same people working with you from scope of work all the way through final closeout of the program, getting as many applicants into their homes as possible. And I ask that you select Forefront and this team to support Hillsborough County for your repair and replacement program. And we can take any questions.
Okay, great. We'll move right into the Q&A. We'll have 15 minutes. Maybe when you ask your first question.
Can you just elaborate a little bit more? I think he touched on it, or maybe it was Mike, but talk, because I heard a lot about the design and that's like the assessment, inspection, the site portion, the site review portion, and who's going to tackle that, how you're organized to do that?
Sure. This is Mike Vitale. I can take that question. In the past with the CDBG programs that we've been involved in, we typically get a order, from what the initial assessment was on where the money is going to go to work through all the issues that were found in those particular projects. We send an inspector up there to go review that document and what we see on the ground, and we bring that back to the team and we start having that discussion about, okay, well, they said they need this done. Here's the money they have for it. And this is what we saw. Does this all align? If it aligns, that's great. But if it doesn't, then we bring that up to you folks, at the county level saying, all right, well, they've given you money to do X, but while we were there to view X, we saw X, but we also saw Y and Z that ties in. And we need to have that coordination on how we are going to address that. That really helps out with folks on the ground. Not only would be an inspector, it would also be a project manager showing up out there to help do that assessment to make sure that, is this a repair? Am I just removing a toilet, for example, a fixture, and replacing it with a fixture in kind? Or when I remove that toilet, for example, does the substrate below, has that been damaged? Now all of a sudden I have to do, have to redo the substrate below. Maybe the flange is broken. I'm using a very simple example there, but those of you that are involved in construction understand, especially in repairs, alterations, and additions, when you start peeling back the onion, what you see on the front, once you remove some of that stuff, there may be additional repairs that need to be done beyond, and we need to have that discussion up front on how we're going to address that. Did that answer your question, sir?
I think so. I'm just looking at your capacity for inspections also. What do you got for resources to conduct all of them?
With the 2 inspectors we have, and then I have a handful of project managers that I can send out there at any time.
Okay, thank you.
That sort of leads into my question. It seems like you've done smaller scale CDBG-DR programs. Would you be able to handle the volume of this type of funding source?
Yeah, definitely.
So,
I'll just kind of tee it up for. So the firm has definitely grown over the last couple of years to over 65 staff members in total. And this program would be led by Nunzi and Bill, and they manage a team themselves. And if this program were to then get started and kick off, we have the ability to kind of flex as we need to. So we can pull from resources who we need to build the team up. Maybe at the beginning of the program, we don't need all hands on deck as we're starting to figure out how we're going to work with each other, make sure that we understand the needs of the county and how we can best support that. And then as we ramp up, we start pulling more of those staff members onto this program for that dedicated team. And they all have residential experience for that. We have done the Lee Cares program, and Nunzi, I'll let you kind of talk a little bit about how we've supported that with our staff.
You know, as you said, Justin, we adapt to the volume of work. We start out with a small team. As the work trickles in, if it's not consistent, we build that team, and then that team grows as the orders increase. We have that flexibility, as Justin said, with our resources and our large drafting staff, as well as project managers and inspectors. Any of us can go out into the field and do inspections to support Mike as well.
So I have a question. Do you, are you contracted with Horn, or is your contract with JWTC?
Our contract is with JWTC.
Okay, so,
We work
and-
through JWTC.
okay, great. And how many, so I understand the amount of money that's been allocated for the single family in that area. But my question for you is, how many homes have you worked on with JWTC in that Fort Myers-Lee County area?
The program is, they got into the program a little later. So currently there were 12 projects. But projects, we might get one this month, we might get 5 this month.
Right.
It varies.
I understand, yeah.
Yeah, so currently that's what it is.
Based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. And so one follow-up question here too. So I want to say you had on the screen somewhere that you were providing services for the SHIP program for the city of Ocala.
Yeah, the City of Ocala program, that is this actually has several different funding resources for that. That is a very new program also for the City of Ocala. We've been working with them probably less than a year. We've worked with the lead of that program at the city. Essentially what they're doing is they are working to build a library of plans similar to how a DR program works, to basically go to an owner occupied and say, hey, pick A, B, or C, which one do you want? And these are, build to cost, low cost homes, very simple plans that were developed basically where the city has a library that they can then give to the owner and say, which one would you like that best fits your needs? Specifically with the one that we just completed, you could stand in the living room and look down through the floor and see the dirt. It pretty much that home, these people are living in these homes and they need basically the support of the city to come out and help repair that. And again, just like Mike said, we send out the project manager for that internally. We send out an inspector to confirm the scope of work that needs to be done. And we've worked with the city to make sure that when those plans do get built, they fall within the construction budget for each one of those homes that needs to be completed.
Okay, just one follow-up question. So I also saw that you had experience with CDBG-CV, which is not DR, and that you had some experience with I want to say just regular CDBG. And so I'm trying to kind of decipher what your experience is with DR funding, how much of experience you really have with DR funding. And I also want to say that, it's okay if it's limited because we don't get experience until we get experience, right? And so, but I'm just trying to figure that out. I want to be clear as we kind of move forward in the conversation.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to tee up Kine, who can talk a little bit more of that because she has been the project manager with support from Leonard on our CDBG CV, which is the coronavirus allocated funds, not the disaster recovery. We do have limited experience when it comes to disaster recovery programs. You'll see a lot of these firms are either in Texas or the Carolinas that seem to come into Florida to support this. And we have the Florida experience, we have experience with other CDBG compliance that's needed, and we have other grant funded programs. So while it is limited, like you said, you don't have it until you have it, but we definitely have the team who at least has been through similar requirements with the CDG program. One thing that I will note that I think is different between the Lee Cares and the Hillsborough County is you don't have a horn coming in to manage this, correct? This is going to be managed internally through Hillsborough County.
No, no, that's not true. So.
Oh, no, okay.
Right, so it's set up differently. It's early in the process, but it'll be set up differently with vendors coming in to provide the administration. But it'll be driven by county staff, yes.
Okay, so that's a little bit then that's more in line to the experience that we have now with Lee County, the CARES program, where Horn is more of the PM and admin. JWTC was one of the selected GCs that then allocates the task down to us. Kind, you want to talk a little bit about the experience for the CDBG projects?
Yeah, I can add a little bit more about our CDBG coronavirus program projects. Like you said, regarding funding, like we're working on some new construction project and some are renovation project. And basically when we start the project, we look at the program, what's been included in the grant fund and what's been approved. So we make sure that the program and what's approved and the client's program is always in line. That sometimes there could be like some additional work scope increase, and sometime at the end of bidding phase, we have the bid came in a little higher and we needed extra funding. So these times, we have Florida-based consultants, who administer the grant, funds to make sure additional when they go for additional funding, we provide all the necessary documents. We work closely with them. With the consultant client, to make sure it's within the fund, or if any additional fund is needed, we support every process, every step of the way. And if you want to add any more to that, Leonard.
No, we do have another question though. We do have a.
So I'm going to focus on the project manager. Looks like Bill Spencer has been with the firm a short amount of time, so he's not listed on the prior projects used as an example, which makes sense. But Mr. Spencer, would you tell us a little bit about your experience with residential development?
Oop, Bill, you're muted.
Okay, can everybody hear me now? Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I have over 30 years of experience. I've worked with some of the bigger builders. I've worked with Toll Brothers for over 22 years. I've worked with Taylor Morrison, and I now head up as project manager with Perry Homes, which is all the residential experience. And with my Pine Island experience with the commercial marina, I headed up, and it's still ongoing on trying to get the operations while the commercial end of it has to remain operational to get the barges out to the residential areas, with maintaining all the environmental impact there. So we staged it. So yeah, I have quite a bit of experience with that.
Time for one more. All good? Okay, thank you guys so much for hopping on with us this morning. Please continue to monitor UNA for more updates related to the solicitation. We're also meeting today at 3:15. Yes, Justin, you have something?
Oh, yeah, I didn't know if we had time for one question from Forefront to ask.
Yeah,
Is there only going to be one firm selected, or do you plan on selecting maybe top 3 to support the program, or has that not been decided yet?
We haven't finalized a number. We reserve the right in the solicitation to select multiple contractors. So that will be part of the conversations that we have this afternoon.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
All good? And thank you guys. Have a
Thank
good
you.
one.
Thank you.
Thank you.